Hey everyone, this is Steve Chase here, Sequential Solutions, and in this video, we're going to talk about using QuickBooks Online to really understand how bank rules work. All right, so I'm logged in to a trial account, and I've uploaded some transactions here that we're going to look at, trying to clean up and review here. So I'm assuming you have a brand new account in QuickBooks, and you're kind of just getting started. You've connected to your bank feeds. Now what? Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to start looking at the bank feeds. And when you recognize something, for example, here, Upwork, the payee is going to be blank. So that means that you typically, I prefer to kind of copy it the first time, paste it inside, like we see there, and then it will ask you to verify what type of payee is, vendor, and just typically that's all that's needed right now. If we were to click details, then we could go in and add more information like the address and phone numbers and contact information. But right now, just the name is sufficient for us in our reporting. Okay, so I've got that added there. And for this first time, I'm going to leave it as contractors and click the add button here. Okay, now what's happening here is QuickBooks is determining that it now sees other records with Upwork on it. Notice that this green, the text changed green to symbolize that, and now it's part of the recognize. So if we go up here, we've got 18 transactions to work with. 3 are now recognized. I'm going to click on those 3. And everything kind of gets shifted over there. It's nice. You can sort this. You can click on these, and we can click on the accept selected to do them all at one time. However, if you think you're going to use a lot of transactions to the same vendor over and over again, this is the perfect time to go up to the bank rules command to save time. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to select the new rule button in the upper right corner. I'll name it Upwork, and it's going to be for money in or out. So money going out, we would choose which bank account we would want to connect to. If the default's going to be all bank accounts, but if you had a specific account or a credit card account that you wanted to exclusively work with, you could choose that here. When a transaction meets all of the conditions, or any of the condition. In case you're going to have more than one line, it could be using very complicated logic here. Any of them, which are the or statements. So that means if at least one item is true, then it will do the following down below. Okay, now let me clear this out. Ours is pretty simple. If the bank text contains Upwork, and I typically paste so the typing is exactly how it was showing up on the bank feeds. Okay, now other than bank text, you also have description and amount. So bank text is typically what comes in from the memo line. Description can sometimes be the payee. So they kind of interact. I'll show you a trick to make sure we have the correct one in just a moment. Now we're ready for what to do, the action. The transaction type is going to be an expense. The payee is going to be Upwork. The category is going to be contractors. If you leave the memo alone, that's good. Otherwise, it will overwrite from the bank feeds the memo. So I just leave that blank. But here is very powerful. Automatically add to my books. Now be very careful here, because if you do this, it's going to go straight from the bank feeds, from the temporary tables, basically records, into the register. So now I recommend that you do this if you're going to have a very clean rule that won't get interfered with something else that might mistake it with something else that you didn't want it to automatically do. Okay, so as soon as we click save, we're going to be keeping our eyes out on the lookout up here. And we're going to see if it actually does the rule with those 3 transactions that we just saw a moment ago. If it doesn't, Then we know that either we have something typed wrong or maybe we need to work with the description instead of the bank text. I'm going to click Save. And there it is. And it just only shows up temporarily right there for a little bit here. 3 transactions have been added. So that's awesome. So we have our first rule, Upwork. Bank text contains Upwork. Set payee to Upwork, set category. And then you'll see auto add. It has a green symbol here with a plus symbol on it there. If we ever needed to make a change to it, we would just click the edit or the drop down to make a copy or delete. I'm going to go back to my bank feeds over here. And let's do one more, okay? So I'm going to have postage, and I want to have that as a cost of goods sold. So I'm going to go over to accounting and create a new account here. Let's see here. Working with the trial accounts, moving kind of slow. All right, let's ditch that idea there. We'll go back to the banking, and I'll just use a generic one here. So again, I'm going to, when I'm working the bank feeds and I come across something doesn't have a payee, I click on that row, I copy and paste into the payee. This payee is optional, but you'll find that you'll have an accurate reporting if you do want to track your expenses by payees. And then we have the ability here, let's do cost of goods sold. And then I'm going to click on the add button. Okay, awesome. So here we go. I'll do this real quick. Bank rules, just for another example here. I start off, I would have had it on the clipboard, so I'm going to do Control V to paste, money out, bank text equals that, expense type, and cost of goods sold. Automatically add to my books. Now, I'll tell you what, let's uncheck automatically add to my books just to test it out. We'll hit save and discover that auto add right here does not do that. As we're looking at the rules, we will see the item that says rule here. So what I'll do is I'll add manually right now this $25. I'm going to return back to bank rules and run the rule by editing it. You can always go back later and then check automatically add to my books. And there should now be 2 in the queue for it to automatically add. There we go. And now here's the powers. As you're doing your bank feeds every day, it's going to do that behind the scenes. And so very often I'll have clients where I have like 20 or 30 rules behind the scenes here, and they are my secret sauce here. So learn them, master them. When you're looking at the banking register, when you're actually doing that, I'm going to go into my register now. Let's look at the symbols that you see here. So anytime you see a plus sign, that's an automatic add. Remember that $25 that we did? From that, you'll see it just has a little green square without a plus sign, and that recognizes that it was manually added onto it. I'm going to click through, edit, and whenever you're inside the transactions, just I'm going to leave you with a couple little tips here. First tip is you can click on online banking matches to see them, and it will show you what rule was applied. This will click through to get right to it. But if for whatever reason you needed to unmatch it, and typically that's, you know, with bank deposits, invoices, and receipt payments, sometimes you might need to unmatch to make a cleanup. You would click unmatch, and then it would basically still be here, but that rule would be off the list there. Second tip I want to share with you is if you're wanting to learn behind the scenes the journaling, the debits and the credits of this transaction, you can click on more, and for all transactions can view the transaction journal. This is a great way to start studying accounting behind the scenes, and it will show us. Now, we always have to have the left side debit equal the right side credit. So here we have the credit for the bank account, it's an asset account, and a debit, our cost of goods expense account. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you are taking advantage of QuickBooks Online bank feeds. They are powerful features that are going to allow you to do more of what you love to do and less time inside of QuickBooks Online. Connect with me online at my website, sequentiasolutions.com. You'll find lots of resources there, particularly if you click on the type the /blog at the end, will get you to my YouTube channel and plenty of other resources, including Microsoft Excel tips and tricks. Hey guys, have a great day. See you next video.